So you want to buy a Skeb, huh? What's a Skeb, you ask? Well, it's a website for commissioning art pieces from Japanese artists. There are already a few Skeb tutorials on YouTube as well as an English guide in text on the homepage, so if this one's not working out for you, then I suggest trying some of those other guides out there. But since a few people asked me to do this one's mine. I primarily commission through Skebs these days, and having now walked no small number of friends through obtaining their first Skeb, I decided to go ahead and make this incredibly scuffed video that'll help anyone else who may be out there feeling too intimidated or overwhelmed to use it. In this video, I'll be going over important things to keep in mind, showing the basics of how to navigate, as well as walking you through making a request on the website. Don't let the length of the video intimidate you, it really is way more simple than it looks. First thing you're going to want to do is sign into Skeb by authorizing your Twitter account. Once you've done that, you should be on the home page. Now if you're over 18, you can purchase and view not safe for work art on Skeb by going into your account settings and turning it on in this dropdown. For the sake of this tutorial though, I'll be turning mine off. You're also going to want to enter in a credit or debit card on this page, as PayPal accounts aren't accepted due to artists being able to accept not safe for work commissions. If PayPal is all you have, COPYWRITE is an alternative way to commission Japanese artists using a very similar system to Skeb, but you won't be able to commission any not safe for work art using a PayPal account on COPYWRITE either. As recommended with any site you intend to spend money on, I suggest reading at least the TOS and the client guidelines, but if you don't want to, I'm going to go ahead and point out the ones I find most important if you're intending to be a client on this website. Number 1, once you send a request on Skeb, you can't bother the artist offsite at all. You can't ask for a quote, progress update, edits, you can't ask them to check Skeb to look at the request, nothing. What you send in your request is what you get, so please be very careful and make sure it says exactly what you want it to say. If you do end up messaging an artist and they report it, you can be banned from the website. Number 2, when the artist approves, not when you send it, but when they approve your request, the money will be processed in order to ensure you have those funds in your account. So if you don't have those funds, I suggest not sending in a request. Number 3, should they fail to produce your artwork in the given time frame, your money will be refunded. It varies how long it takes for these refunds to go through, but you will be refunded. Now this next one is relevant to commercial use, so VTubers hoping to use Skeb to buy art assets for their overlays or site layouts, please pay attention. Number 4, you are free to use the commissions you buy as an avatar on social media or websites, as well as for personal viewing pleasures. However, if you wish to use it beyond personal use, you have to inform the artist at the time of making the request. This allows the artist to decline any requests they do not wish to honor. If you even make $1 off of your Twitch or YouTube account, and you use this art made by someone else, that's technically commercial use. I've seen VTubers commission artists on Skeb by simply linking a reference and saying, "Can you draw my OC?" But don't do this. If you want to use it commercially, you have to say so in order to be compliant with TOS. Number 5, if you request your image hidden or private, this means it will only be hidden or private on Skeb itself. The artist is allowed to post the artwork wherever they wish online otherwise, so it is imperative that if your commission must be absolutely private, please do not commission it on Skeb. Lots of artists take commissions on other websites and may be willing to do this for you. Personally, I use the hidden feature when buying gifts for my friends that I know also use Skeb. Number 6, the company will not mediate disputes, so if the artist drew something wrong or misunderstood, that's it, you have to live with it. Please check the artist's other pieces of work before requesting, in order to increase the likelihood that they will be able to deliver a product that meets your needs. Moving on, let's show the basics of how to navigate Skeb. Back to the home page, we have here along the top new works of following creators, popular creators, and new creators. If you're not following anyone yet, you may wish to either browse the newest pieces of art until you find one, or scroll down to new or popular creators in order to find some artists. There is a search bar, but in my experience it isn't the greatest yet. Keep in mind Skeb is still in beta, so oftentimes you'll plug a word into the search bar and get a ton of unrelated images. Regardless, you can still use this. Sometimes I'll search SD or Twitch in order to find artists who commonly make assets for VTubers, since they're likely familiar already and comfortable with allowing commercial use. But most of the time, I am personally just browsing newest creators or new works. If you scroll down to following creators, you'll see that there are English words over the artist pages that could say either stopped, meaning they're not currently taking commissions, or seeking, meaning that they're currently taking commissions. Aside from that, these labels can say artwork or illustrations, voice, meaning voice clips or voice acting, text, such as short stories or fanfictions, video, music, or advice. Lastly, not safe for work, meaning the artist in question accepts not safe for work orders. With that out of the way, let's find an artist to commission. Going back to new works, I browse until I see an art style I like. Having found one, I click on their page. Once there, I review the given information on the artist I intend to request from. I recommend always doing this. I see the recommended amount is listed as 5,000 yen or $50 US. Next is max body size. This is the amount of text you can include in your commission request. Keep in mind you're supposed to fit your entire request within this amount of text, so no linking to a Google Doc which includes more information. Response expiration days means how long the artist has to accept or deny your request before it times out and is automatically rejected. Complete expiration days means how long the artist has to complete your request, and complete average days is how long on average it takes them to finish a request. I've gotten Skebs in under 24 hours and I've had them time out after over 2 months of waiting. There's really no way for sure to guarantee when you're going to get it. Complete rate is very important to note. This artist's complete rate is 100%, meaning they have completed 100% of all accepted orders. Typically, I don't request from artists with lower than a 75% complete rate. Sending in the actual request, I select my genre, artwork, and then I type. If you don't know Japanese well, I suggest writing in English even if you do know Japanese decently. This is because Skeb uses an automatic translation system that not only sends your request in English, but also in Japanese. This is great because many Japanese people know very simple English, so if the translator messes anything up, the artist may be able to understand what you meant by looking at the original English text. I suggest keeping it as short, simple, and clear as you possibly can. Try not to use slang or memes or key mashes or English idioms, as they might not translate very well. Sometimes instead of saying something like, "My character has a very chill vibe," I'll say something like, "He is often relaxed and tired." In addition to being simple and clear, I try not to be too casual with the artist, as it may seem disrespectful. I don't know them personally, and they might not understand my casual American lingo. If I mention my characters' names, usually I will type them in quotation marks so the translator doesn't mistake them for another word. If your character has an easily missed trait such as freckles, I would suggest adding a line like, "Please don't forget to draw their freckles." Making sure I have a reference uploaded to a website I know will reliably host the image. I copy it and paste it into my address bar to make sure it's the correct link. I've seen people forget to include links only for the artist to be unable to do the request. If you mess up, it's on you. Remember, the site won't settle these sort of disputes, so be careful. If in the event you did mess up a link, you have until before the artist accepts to cancel the request. However, if you want to resend it, you may have to pay more money than you originally offered. Personally, I usually ask artists to draw my character however they wish, but if you have a specific pose, expression, or theme in mind, you have to mention it. Now right now, I am only commissioning one character, so I offered the amount that was recommended by the artist. But if I were requesting 2 characters or a complex pose or background, I would offer more than the recommended amount. Personally, I always offer twice the recommended amount for couples, but it's up to you what you offer. Just know that artists may not accept your order if they feel they're not being compensated enough. Opening up more details, I make sure auto translation is on. Anonymous and hidden are off, as I don't really need to be anonymous or hidden for this. And since I'd like to have my name on the image, I type the name I'd like the artist to use. You don't have to have this included, and for personal OCs I don't, but for images of my VTuber I think it adds a cute sort of fan art looking quality. I've also written in friends' names here for commissions that I bought for other people. Now that it's sent in, we wait. If the artist approves your request, you'll get a notification. If they decline your request, you won't, so I suggest just checking back every few days to see if it was declined. You can check the status of the commission here under the Request tab along the top of the website.
The next day.
Here we are a day later, and as implied on the artist's page, it took them a day to complete it. Generally, an artist's average complete time I found is pretty accurate, but keep in mind it's not a promise, and as humans, things can happen in their lives, so try to remain patient. You should get a notification here that informs you that you've got one, as well as an email to your registered email account, but I was lucky enough to spot this on the homepage. You can view your completed commissions by going to the Complete section of the Request tab. From here you can download the files the artist provides to you, as well as leave the artist a tip by clicking on Boost. Not only does boosting allow you to write a compliment, but it'll outline their drawing in gold, and also send them a little extra money. There's no need to write your comment in Japanese, but I find that it's nice too. Boosting or not is up to you, but personally I always boost. As requested, the artist provided me with a transparent version, and look at that! Written permission to use commercially. Look how cute and TOS compliant we are! They also messaged me personally on Twitter to apologize for forgetting to add my glasses, and re-uploaded it without me even having to mention it. And that more or less concludes my basic tutorial on how to use Skeb. It's not all there is to the site, of course, but it'll help get you started for sure. Now get out there and buy some art.